When Greg Cole spoke at the first virtual Mid-South Agricultural and Environmental Law Conference last year, the outlook for the farm economy was bleak. Fast forward to 2021 and those headwinds have changed to tailwinds. Cole recapped a pivotal year for Mid-South agriculture in a speech to this year's conference, which was also held online due to continuing concerns over the COVID-19 pandemic.
I would start this off with saying, the old term you hear over and over, what a difference a year makes. That is an understatement. When I know we were all sitting here, I know this was my first presentation that was virtual that I did last year when all this thing was like many of you were working at home and are upstairs or downstairs and trying to figure out who turned the lights out to our life. Both personally and professionally. So very stressful times, a lot of things going on. Obviously for agriculture, we had a lot of headwinds I would characterize. We had hurricane force headwinds at the time. And then over the last year, the winds have shifted dramatically and we got brisk tailwinds. And I want to go in and dive in here. They are the 5 factors that I would highlight that we've been dealing with and take you back to this time last year or in 2020 and bring it forward and talk about some of the keys of the game, if you will, of where we were then, how things unfolded to the tail end of 2020 and where we set in 21 with that. Obviously, we set out and we went in 2020 with excess global supplies. And we have been in that environment, really for the last 7 years leading up to the beginning of 2020 after the big downturn, after the last super cycle in 13. So that we already had those headwinds with excess global supplies there. We had the trade war issue, especially with China, that was irritating the whole situation and further depressing prices. We reduced export demand there. So then all of a sudden we had this COVID situation, which is historical to say the least, that hit. So that really came in and disrupted not just our lives, but the general economy, but also here in agriculture. I know I was on the phone as my wife I'd be upstairs working, 24/7, working at home and reading economic data and talking to peers throughout the United States because we got all this billions of dollars of ags to manage and thinking, gosh, what's going on here? We're never seeing this. We had a disruption in agriculture where look at the supply chain got disrupted. I mean, think about, we never seen a time when all of a sudden, we were euthanizing hogs and chickens because processing facilities were tailed because of the COVID situation and shutting down. What a deal in the beef industry when a price of a steak went up, but then the price to the cattle producer went down. We just had a lot of things. We were having in the dairy industry up north. We had poor milk in the street because the processing, the demand with food service went down. You had all the systemic kinds of implication. Obviously when people start driving, fuel demand went down, ethanol went down, affects the corn market. So everything could go wrong, went wrong. And so that was already what I call increase the hurricane winds, if you will, in 2020. And then, of course, we were fortunate, the government started to intervene, which is not a new thing for us in agriculture. They've always been a big part of our piece, but now they had to intervene on a more national level in the general economy, with the stimulus packages. And then, we had a lot with the Paycheck Protection Program, the CPAP, and I'll get in here in some slides in a minute and break that down, the degree of intervention. The one key comment I want to make, though, that's very relevant here, though, I always said we in agriculture, like I say, we've already had support of the government. They intervened when times were not so good. Now times were not so good in the whole U.S., and you always wonder, will the government run out of money to intervene? And even though they quickly dove in, there's a lot of good things the administration, everybody did to help us to stabilize ourselves. But just remember, we understand this in Economics 101. There's no free lunch. So we took our deficit, as you know, quadrupled it in 2020 there. We took debt to GDP within a few months to the highest level since the end of World War II. Think about how many years World War II lasted to get that. We did that just in a few months there. And so the point is, I always say, and to explain this to groups is, like in ag, when we have a bad year, the more we reduce the short-term pain by refinancing, the longer, the harder, or the more the longer-term play. So we still got this fiscal issue. We got to deal with all this money we got to pay back, taxation.